Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here with a video response to none other than Gemini888, who made a video today entitled WWE Getting Desperate, talking about his hatred for the WWE Network and how basically at the end of it, just could not wait until the day that WWE threw in the flag and just basically canceled the WWE Network. I believe in the quote that they put up there on the screen about the WWE Network having a 90% approval rating from people that have subscribed to it. I know there are people out there that have honestly got the WWE Network in one way or another and figured out it does not work for them. Some people live far out in the boondocks of the countries where just Wi-Fi or internet signal isn't strong enough to support them streaming the show. Some people just one way or another figured out they weren't going to watch it enough and have ducked out of it. I know that when the WWE Network first came up back in February, I believe it was the night after Elimination Chamber, the first day that it was going live, I knew that I was going to buy the WWE Network 2 years in advance. I thought the WWE Network was one of the greatest things of all time. I think that almost everything that they have done is a thumbs up for me. I think that all of the old pay-per-views, all of the old shows, the ways of constantly showing that, as the days and the months go on, there's always more improved footage being uploaded. There's no way in the world, even the guy who lives in his mom's basement, who never leaves that basement, would be able to watch everything that the WWE has put up on that network yet. I think there's a vast, just huge amounts of library and that they have up there, and for them to say that they've only uploaded 2% of the entire WWE library, what they have in the film vault, just blows my mind at how big this could get one day. I know that when the numbers came out after WrestleMania, only having 600,000 subscribers was lower than expected. But if you look at it, they're on a 2-year goal of rolling this deal out, of getting to 2 million subscribers before they break a profit on this whole deal. The WWE Network, it costs a lot of money to get up and running. Right now, it's only rolled out in the United States. I know that if you go out and you look and try to get the WWE Network from anywhere throughout Europe and Asia, anywhere, if you want the WWE Network, you can get it, and you can become a subscriber. Some people pay a little bit more because they have to pay for a secondary sort of internet streams. That way it makes it look as if they're living in the United States. I know that my buddy Luke has a problem every once in a while because he has satellite internet, and where he lives in Southern California, sometimes the satellites are beamed over the border into Mexico, I guess, and it makes the WWE Network think that he lives in Mexico. If you live anywhere, you can get this, and I think anybody who would sign up to the network, I hate to say this because I love my WWE DVD collection, but maybe, looking back at it now, maybe a lot of the people who were saying it was right to sell your DVDs before the network launched, maybe they were right. I can see a lot of those ones, collecting dust, and as times roll out, I can easily see, how they already have all of the WWE DVD pay-per-views already put up there. Some of them in the best amount of quality or the best amount of footage as possible. Some of the shows I've even gone through, they have the Coliseum home video. I was watching King of the Ring 95, and as the show started, they said, as a Coliseum home video exclusive, we've added the free-for-all. And I was like, great. I was looking forward to watching a short show, and now it's going to be extended with a preview match. But it ended up being the free-for-all included a match that you had to watch because the winner of that got put into the King of the Ring at the last minute. So it made sense. But I don't know, Jim, for trying to say that you want this to fail for WWE would look horrible for the company as a whole. Basically, everybody went crazy over Vince McMahon, losing all of that money when the stock dropped in one day. They said he lost $300 million or whatever it was, and that was the huge story. You saw that posted basically anywhere, even places that don't report on wrestling, because it just was a huge, the way the stock inflated from where it was once at like a $10 stock, and it went as high as I can't remember where it was, in the 30s, I think is where it was. But just, as WWE, that's the biggest their company has been since they went live on the market in like 99, 2000, whenever they went out there. I don't know, I'm looking at my stock thing. I bought it like almost the day that it came out, and it says 2001 on it, so I don't know what that is. But basically, if you look back at the failures of Vince McMahon in the past, I'm not saying that if this does fail, the WWE is going to close. Vince is going to close up shop. He's going to lose his company and lose his house and everything like that. But if you go back and look at something that he put a little bit of money back into the 90s, when that failed, it was the WBC, the World Body, or WBF, World Body Building Federation. It had guys like the Incredible Hulk. I can't remember what his name was one of the guys that was in there as a bodybuilder. They had signed Lex Luger before they closed to come over from WCW after his injury to just be nothing but a bodybuilder, which then translated him going into WWF after the World Bodybuilding Federation closed after its second pay-per-view tanked and nobody bought the shows. That meant his whole line of fitness products and Ico Pro. You can watch the old television shows and see a lot of the wrestlers coming out sporting it, or in the old Monday Night Raws, you see the big banner behind them. You've been there with me, Jim. We're both about the same age. You've seen the way that wrestling has changed. When we were kids and we were growing up, we used to have to sit around and watch All-American Wrestling. We used to have to watch WWF Superstars and shows like that, where we sat through 45 minutes of jobber matches, and then you got one main event. And that main event sometimes would be like Greg the Hammer Valentine against Virgil. And you thought that was like one of the biggest things of the world. The one few times that we got to see, big time matches, which was almost like a free pay-per-view, was when Saturday Night's Main Event came. And that was something that was just added onto the network. And a lot of the people that are using the free trial right now are being able to see these shows for the first time, because they have the Best of Saturday Night's Main Event DVD that came out 2010-ish, somewhere in there. That was one of my favorite DVDs that they've ever came out with. I loved watching that one. I own the full stock of shows on DVD. I bought those on eBay back in the day. I actually made a good chunk of change helping distribute those around the United States to a lot of people. That being uploaded onto the network is probably one of the best sets of shows for anybody to go back and watch who wants to study the 80s. And for them to have the first 3 years up there is awesome. With 85, 86, and 87, I believe, being the first either 13 or 14 episodes. I do think that they are missing the main event specials. There was 5 of those in all. The first one, of course, being Hogan versus Andre, in which set up WrestleMania 4. That was one of the biggest wrestling matches of all time, and it was also one of the biggest rated television specials of all time. NBC treated that like the Super Bowl, and it was. I mean, nobody knew going into it that, Hogan was actually going to lose the championship. That was something that we had never seen before. And I can understand people being upset that they thought the whole run of Saturday Night's Main Events were going to be put up there, and they weren't there. But the amount of shows that are there, I don't know many people that are going to be sitting down and watching the WWE Network. There's not a lot of people out there like me that when the WWE Network came around, they just canceled their cable, and right now they're living off Netflix and the WWE Network and Hulu. There's people, they go to work just like you and me, and they have time for wrestling, but they don't have time to sit down and watch 14 hours of wrestling. I think that the main events Saturday Night's Main Events were 1 hour back in the day, and fly through those as fast. I wish I could sit on my couch and watch those shows, because I promise you, the first few, if I remember right, weren't great before they figured it out. But especially when you get into like 1990 and you get to see like Ultimate Warrior versus Dino Bravo, that was a fucking huge match that you had to see when you were a kid. Hogan and Warrior going up against Dino Bravo and Earthquake, which was the main event before WrestleMania. that was the first time you got to see Hogan and Warrior not being on the same page and actually fighting each other, and like, you know, there was no true heel, but the building was split, and you could tell, you know, that was when the Hogan and Warrior fans, you know, first, you know, drew the line in the sand, like, all right, you know, we're over here, you're over there, you know, you make sure you say who you're rooting for in this match, because we ain't gonna be friends during it, pretty much. But in my opinion, Jim, in your video, you basically stated the answer to your question. I can understand that, you know, even by reading your comments, I'm not the only person who feels this way. People think you're just bitter because you see the falling value in your collection, and in my mind, I see you as the guy who's going to hold on to your collection, you know, with this or without this. I think that you could use the WWE Network as an easy tool. No longer will you have to pull DVDs off your shelf. I still think that one of the things that is lacking, that I think will come up sooner than later, either if it's, you know, through them coming up with their own programming, or if they're just gonna, you know, just sort of put you know, best of sort of, you know, matches together. They did that for the Ultimate Warrior. They gave him a 1-hour special, even though I think that the matches that they showed on the greatest matches of the Ultimate Warrior weren't really the Ultimate Warrior's greatest matches. I still think that's the value in the DVD sets that have come out from the past. Like, you could, you know, go over and grab your Heartbreak and Triumph Shawn Michaels. You know, maybe the documentary will be put up on the network, and you could watch that if you wanted to on there. But if you just wanted to sit down and put a disc in and watch 3 hours of fucking Shawn Michaels matches, boom, you're done. And you said that was one of the reasons why you liked it when you went out and you bought the best of the pay-per-views for, I believe you were talking about WCW. You were saying that, you know, you have all of the sets. Or with the network, you have all of the shows, but if you wanted to watch just the best matches, you'd have to jump around, and it'd take you forever, which is very true. But to me, I've sort of liked enjoying just sitting down and watching an entire show. I've sat through shows that were great, such as like King of the Ring 1993, and I've sat through shows that were just piss poor horrible, King of the Ring 1995, just hoping for a good moment to pop up somewhere along the way. I've seen some stuff from my past that I just remembered, you know, spot for spot in a match, and I've seen stuff that I had to ask friends because I had no reason why these guys were even fighting. I have no memory of some of these matches, and I get to see them like almost for the first time. In your video, you stated that, you know, which was my opinion, you saying that even though you don't like that your DVDs are falling, you like the fact that you get the pay-per-views included in your $9.99. That should be enough for you just to say, this is good for me. I'm saving money. This is a win. If you want to go out and buy your DVD, you know, when it comes out, that's fine with you. If you want to have the case and you want to put it on your shelf, maybe you can say that sometimes they might put a special feature on there for you that might, you know, get you as a win. In my mind, any special feature you put on there isn't going to be worth, you know, going out and paying the $9.99. Maybe if they go back to what they were doing one year with the Blockbuster exclusives, where they give you one disc, that is the show, and then on the other one they sort of give you the best of Raw and SmackDown, so you sort of get everything leading up to the pay-per-view. Maybe that would be something that wins me over to make me go out and buy it. But to me, if you want to watch your tapes, if you want to watch your DVDs, that's fine. Keep your WWE Network. Just turn it on once a month when the pay-per-view comes on. Watch your Money in the Bank. Watch your Battleground. Watch your SummerSlam. And just call it a day, knowing that you saved $35 a month, knowing that you probably would have bought that show. And that $35 you can take to Best Buy, and you can buy your freaking DVD when it comes out, and you still end up as a winner on the end. The WWE Network, in my mind, is not being desperate. I think they're honestly going out there and trying to get new people to get on there. With them saying that you can get a free week, just sign up, no credit card needed, is one of the things that was a major sort of red flag for a lot of people. They did not want to give them their credit card number on a trial basis, knowing that they might not want it, and WWE has their credit card number, and how do they really know they're not going to get charged in the long run? Now they can go there, they can check it out. In my opinion, I know I talked about this a lot on my WCW Monday Night Wars review that I did last night. I don't see how you cannot want this. This is great. If you love wrestling as much as I love wrestling, or even a little bit more, you're going to get value out of this. I watch this almost every day. On my lunch breaks, sometimes when I come home, I love a WWE Network gym, and you should too.